BREIN launches anti-piracy campaign targeting BitTorrent uploaders. So this is a Dutch company. Dutch anti-piracy group BREIN has announced a new campaign which aims to change the behavior of frequent or long-term BitTorrent uploaders. Starting December 15th, BREIN will track down users deemed important to the supply chain, sending warnings via their ISPs or directly if providers won't cooperate. Shit.
Okay, so did they say which country they're doing this in specifically? Is it just the Dutch or what?
I think it's just okay. Anti-group piracy BREIN anti-piracy group BREIN is at the forefront of the fight against copyright infringement in the Netherlands. So right now, this is in the Netherlands.
All right. So what you guys are seeing now is you're witnessing precedents being made. That's exactly what you're seeing. In the past, we've seen people get letters from their ISP. That is not uncommon. But we've never really seen action being taken place. What we're seeing now is they're pretty much saying, okay, if your ISP ain't going to do shit, we are. Am I not right?
Yeah, you're right.
They're pretty much saying if they're not going to do nothing, we're coming to your house. So,
wow,
you got to protect yourself. But now keep in mind, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but that's the potential of the future. What they're talking about in this article is more so the supply and the demand. So they're talking more so about the people that are actually supplying and uploading the actual copyright infringed material, right? Now, here's the thing with torrents. If you are unfamiliar with how torrents work, you don't have to be the initial uploader to be uploading a torrent. If you are downloading a torrent, you are also uploading bits and pieces of it, depending on how your settings are. Now, there are ways to tweak your settings so you're not uploading, but it's not. I mean, if you don't know what you're doing with torrents, do not touch them. And the problem is there's a handful of applications that actually stream through torrents, and a lot of the end users don't know. You don't know. Showbox was one of them. Showbox used to connect to torrents and stream through torrents. The amount of people that got letters because of Showbox is unreal. So what they're saying now is that those letters are going to be real, and they're not just going to be coming from your ISP anymore.
Yep. Now, when it comes to like the K app and some of these other apps right now that are scraping it, is it the same similar thing what Showbox is doing, or like with Real Debrid, for example? I know Real Debrid has their own dedicated servers.
So here's the thing.
Short answer. Please.
Short answer. Okay.
Straight to the point, man.
Let me short this down. So if you click on a movie and it plays right away, it's playing on somebody's server, right? So Showbox had those ways where it was one click play, and those servers for Showbox were torrent servers, right? Popcorn Time was another one. Streamio also uses some torrents as well too. Real Debrid works a little bit different. Real Debrid will cache that information on their servers, and then you're not directly involved in that torrent chain at all. You're just connecting to a file hosting company and accessing files that they have hosted on their site. You don't really know how they maybe got the files on their site or not. But I mean, I've talked about it in the past. If you're doing anything through a third party, Real Debrid, All Debrid, Premiumize, whatever, any of these companies have the ability to track your information at the end of the day. They do. Right? Is it safer to do it through a Real Debrid or a Debrid service? For sure it is. It is safer, but is anything up completely 100% safe unless you run the whole encryption from point A to point B? You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you're running that encryption and you can have full control over point A and point B, then nothing is 100% safe. So, Real Debrid, All Debrid, Premiumize, all that kind of good stuff. It is safer to do it that way. It doesn't work the same way as you accessing directly to a torrent site. But yeah, so I mean, I hope I explained that right. I'm trying to be as short as possible.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Okay,
good.
let's go.
So frequent and long-term infringers on the radar. From starting the 15th of December, BREIN says it will begin a long-planned project called Flu. Why the hell? Might as well call it COVID. Idiots. Frequent and long-term uploaders. That's what the abbreviation is. To reduce availability of movies, TV series, books, music, file sharing networks. So the key criteria receiving a notice is this as follows: IP addresses has been observed sharing BREIN members companies content. Number 2 is IP addresses belong to a Dutch ISP. And then number 3, in a 4-week period, IP addresses has been sent at least twice in a relevant swarm with an interval of at least 7 hours. So keep that in mind. Now, casual downloaders are not the initial targets, not yet. So this project is not about incidental, so-called hit and run downloaders, but about frequent BitTorrent uploaders. So these are the people who are constantly uploading over and over and over and over and putting stuff out there. Habitual infringers who act not as many as a primary and large-scale source, which have already been and are being successfully enforced, but more as lubricant because they perpetuate the exchange of illegal content through their so-called seeding. This is what they're saying. So just some content for you guys to know what's coming. I don't know anybody here that's attached to Dutch, or if you're remoting into Dutch, or if you're uploading through a Dutch server. Remember, you could be in the States, you could be in Canada, you could be in Mexico, you could be in freaking an igloo somewhere. But if you're connecting to any of their ISPs, then there goes the rabbit hole. They're going to be able to be like, okay, where's this coming from? So just be careful.
Just to give you a little bit more context as well, when they say seeding, that's the process of, uploading bits and pieces of a torrent. You don't have to upload the full file. So usually at torrents work when you're downloading, you are also uploading bits and pieces, and that's what's called seeding.